A very good evening all. I'm Aditi Lama and this is the Thursday night edition of Vision of Asia. Welcome to our daily South Asian news segment. What a week it's been with much dialogue on politics, policy, international relations and immigrant voices. We are dedicated to bringing to you all a non-partial perspective on everything that impacts and engages the South Asian American diaspora here. So again, do stay connected with us and email us on events@itvgo.com. If you have a voice to share or if your South Asian nonprofit is raising awareness and educating the masses. Your voice matters and so does your identity. Again, connect with us. On that note, a quick community highlight now coming in from New York. Mayor Bill de Blasio has made 28 judicial appointments and reappointments for the new year. 2 Indian American judges were among the appointments. Archana Rao to Criminal Court and Deepa Ambekar to Civil Court. We're super excited to see South Asian American women achieve in great capacity, especially with those that are serving for the greater good of all communities. A big congratulations to both ladies. A lot more on the other side of a short break. Stay with some Vision of Asia, Voice of the Community. We'll be right back. Welcome back. I'm Aditi Lamba and this is the Thursday night episode of Vision of Asia. Let's begin the episode tonight taking a look at a story we have been following for many weeks now, the very controversial and much debated issue of CAB Citizenship Amendment Bill passed by the Indian government, a bill which has seen all sections of the Indian community present their opinions and views in protest as well as advocacy. According to the Citizenship Amendment Bill, again, the members of Hindu, Sikh, Buddhist, Jain, Parsi and Christian communities who have come from Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan till December 31st, 2014, following religious persecutions will be granted Indian citizenship. The bill has been criticized by critics for excluding Muslims. Many members of the Indian community have responded to the criticism, stating that the bill discusses identity and representation for thousands of illegal immigrants that need some form of formal and official recognition and have been living in India most of their lives. At Times Square recently in New York City, Indian American supporters of the Citizenship Amendment Bill gathered together advocating their voices and support for Indian government's decision and their stand in support for Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Let's take a look at what all share with us on ITV Gold and their comments on what's happening in India.
We support CAA. 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 Bharat Mata ki Jai. Vande Mataram. Vande Mataram. We support CAA. We support CAA. We support CAA. We support CAA.
Namaste, Indian American community. He is here at the Times Square to show the support for the Citizenship Amendment Act. Indian diaspora is very happy that India is taking care of Indian diaspora wherever they are in problems. So we are strongly support the citizenship bill, and it's not against any religion. It's against religious persecution. It's only helping the people who are persecuted by the countries, in those countries. Thank you.
Okay, namaste. My name is Shivadasan Nair. I am an NRI for the last 30 years in US, and we are supporting the Indian Citizenship Amendment Act passed by the Indian Parliament few weeks ago, and we all are support, and the NRIs are also supporting uh, the bill passed by the Parliament, Indian Parliament, and this bill is not against any religion. This is only supporting the people who suffer the persecution from neighboring countries of India. So we all support the CNN, that is Citizen Amendment Act. Thank you.
Okay, my name is Matt Basing Negi. I'm a member of OF BJP. I'm here today to support this bill. This placard says CAA is very much about human rights. Some people are spreading the rumor that this is against human rights, against some religious people. No, this has nothing to do anything with the Indian citizen having faith in any religion whatsoever. This is against the minorities being prosecuted in the neighborhood, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh. It's very much about human rights. CAA is about human rights. So we are here to support this bill. We gathered here in Times Square to support the CAA, NPR, and NRC. Thank you very much.
My name is Sharil Dwivedi, and I support CAA bill because this bill is right to live of non-Muslims. And in Bangladesh, Pakistan and Afghanistan, all minorities are being executed, and you say in the placards it's showing from 23 to 1%, 22 to 8% in Bangladesh. So we are here to support all the non-minorities who are being executed, and they need right to live. So India is for them. We are Indians and we support human rights.
Namaste, my name is Dr. Jayashree Nair. I'm from New York. I'm an NRI from India for about 20 years now. We support CAA, Citizenship Amendment Act, which was passed by Indian government in the past 2 weeks ago. We support it because this was the need of the time now, as Mahatma Gandhi has said that give the bread, piece of bread first before you serve the cake. So we just believe that we should give the citizenship and the protection to the people who belongs to India and those who are being prosecuted in the neighboring countries. Thank you.
Now, another big story concerning the nation these days, we are talking about President Trump's ongoing impeachment hearing process, which now is in the US Senate, where the president has been impeached on 2 articles, abuse of power and obstruction of Congress, following the White House whistleblower complaint about president's call with Ukrainian President Zelensky. Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell today told Republican senators that he expects House Speaker Nancy Pelosi to transmit the articles of impeachment to the Senate, setting up an impeachment trial which will begin early next week. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi continues to resist calls to transmit articles of impeachment to the Senate, even as top Republicans said GOP senators are expecting the California Democrat to send them by the end of this week. We have tonight comments on President Trump's impeachment and the impact of this political issue in terms of South Asian American voices and the year 2020. We spoke with political commentator Vibhuti Jha and Indian community leader Deepak Nandi.
Well, Southeast Asian are mostly very well educated. The very fact that they're very well educated gives them the power of logic. They know the Aristotelian logic very well. If A is equal to B is equal to C, then A is equal to C. This is the power of education. And most of them are in the world of science or management, and logic has a big role. So they can see this whole thing neutrally, or they can see it emotionally. If they see it neutrally, they will see that this impeachment thing started becoming a part of the vocabulary of the Democrats as soon as he won the election, which has been played to the max by the right. And they can also perceive that this impeachment was, unlike previous impeachment, which had happened only 3 times before, was pushed through. And the most important aspect this impeachment lacked was in the other impeachment, the Department of Justice had indicted or had created a grand jury and had produced evidence from the third branch, the judiciary branch, and had moved it to the Congress that, hey, this is the guilt, this is the crime we found, now you need to do what you want to do. So while most Indians are Democrats in this country, but it will be very hard for them to swallow something which does not pass the muster legally. And now that we see that once the impeachment has happened, they are not deciding whether to move it to the Senate, and they are procrastinating on that and having second thoughts about that. That even raises more doubts, because if you want to kill something, if you want to do something, you do it with confidence and you just go ahead and do it and not be perceived that you have second thoughts about it. So the South Asian community are mostly Democrats, and but they have the power of education, and they are able to differentiate between different shades of gray, and they are able to call a spade a spade. So I just want to, I really want to speculate on how this whole thing will be perceived by this unique group of people with that level of education.
So South Asians need not be worried who is the president, but what is important to think about, the impeachment trial itself. In the case of Bill Clinton, there was remarkable democratic structure that was followed. He was treated in terms of the benefits, in terms of evidences and witnesses. Trump has unfortunately not been given the same equal status, because the Democratic Party made the rules. They had the majority, they made the rules. So is the impeachment per rule? Oh yes, it is. But the opposition point of view was not taken at all. The Constitution strictly stipulates unanimity of purpose. That unanimity of purpose has been missing in this election. And as everybody knows now, Washington Post wrote an article within 16 minutes of his inauguration, now let the impeachment begin. 2017, somebody said the same thing. Everybody has been after him. Nancy Pelosi said, we have been working on it for the last 2.5 years. Ilhan Omar made the disparaging statement that let's go and impeach this MFR. There is a definite hatred towards him. And the hatred comes for one reason. Because again, this man is a doer. He's a doer and he is doing things. So many justices have been appointed who are conservative judges now. The Democrats are feeling that the ground is slipping under their feet if this man wins the election again. The whole justice system will become Republican. They have certain existential threats that they are facing in this matter, and they somehow want to make sure that he doesn't get elected again. That is the impeachment saga. I mean, look at the criminality of it. Bill Clinton was judged criminal on 11 counts of lies, deceptions, or whatever. Not the act. Remember that. He was judged because he lied. Trump, nobody knows anything about it. So every item that the Democratic Party were framing, bribery, collusion, corruption, everything, it's not the article of impeachment at all. It is abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. Yes. It's not obstruction of justice anymore. It's obstruction. So it is very personally vitiated one, even to the extent that Nancy Pelosi sadly introduced the element of religion in this. I'm a Catholic and I don't hate anybody. They are talking about Constitution. They forget that Republicans have equal right to protect the US Constitution. So it is a very, very personal, it is a very personal enmity going on into the entire play of impeachment. And I think where the Democratic Party is missing out in this country, in the rule of law, even the criminal is given full benefit of the rule of law. You are not guilty until proven. In this case, Congress has impeached him. But the Harvard professor, impeachment is not about votes, it's the process. And if the impeachment doesn't go to the Senate, Trump is not impeached.
Send us your comments on President Trump's impeachment 2020 on events@itvgold.com. After the break, We bring you our 2019 in review. Stay with us on Vision of Asia. We'll be right back. Welcome again. You are tuned to Vision of Asia. This is another edition of our ongoing special, a look back at 2019 in review, featuring top stories of recognitions of South Asians in the year 2019. Let's take a look at New York, where, led by President this year, Mr. Harish Thakur, the Association of Indians in America held its annual AIA Benefit Gala for its 32nd Deepavali 2019. Promoting the needs and access of all Asian Indians in the U.S., the association was extremely excited to gather again for a festival which truly captures the greater good of the South Asian culture, traditions, and heritage here, while also attracting New York's diverse community to a grand Indian extravaganza. The event featured immigrants united by their common bond of Indian heritage and American commitment. Let's see what they all share with us on ITV Gold.
We are the largest and oldest organization in America and showing our cultural heritage and the value of our culture at South Seaport. The AI did pretty good job spreading the words about our culture, not only in New York but in the whole USA. This is the largest and biggest Diwali festival in the world. Outside India, of course, is the biggest. And I request everyone to please come this year on October 6th at South Seaport from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. There will be food stop for the shopping. You can do Diwali shopping there. A lot of fun and cultural activities. And of course, it's a free event. It's Sunday, October 6th.
It has been a strong pillar of Indian American community for very long. It has a great history. The Diwali Mela organized by AIA is one of the best and one of the biggest. Consulate General of India is proud to have AIA as its partner in many of our events. We have always supported AIA, and we look forward to support AIA in its future endeavors as well. I wish the very best to AIA, its members, supporters, and office bearers for the next year.
Why did AI recognize my effort is because I am continuing the same effort of educating mostly Indians here in America, as well as Indians, taking students from India who come here, teach them cardiology as well as interventional cardiology, so they can take the knowledge back home and treat more patients with heart disease.
Today's event was a fundraising event for AIA Diwali Festival. That is one of the most famous festivals that is being held every year for the past so many years in the South Street Seaport in New York City. And we get at least over 100,000, 200,000 people attending this festival. And so I'm really very proud of what we are doing today in this event, which is a fundraising event. And I'm very happy to be.
Beauty pageants were huge in 2019, which definitely brought together hundreds of South Asian American women in all age groups nationwide to reflect upon their identity and perspectives, also in community service, confidence building, and talent. Let's take a look at highlights from Miss Bharat New Jersey Beauty Pageant 2019, featuring categories of Miss Teen, Mrs. and Mr. Bharat 2019. This was New Jersey's segment of the National South Asian Beauty Pageant, which hopes to further personality grooming, stage confidence, and identity enrichment for all its Indian American contestants. Let's take a look at the highlights.
I'd just like to say that I feel really honored to be the first runner-up.
And this was hosted by My Dream Entertainment, and it has been an amazing experience.
Show break on our special edition of Vision of Asia, a look back at 2019 in review. Stay with us. And welcome again. You are watching Vision of Asia. This is our special edition of a look back at 2019 in review. Let's take a look at the very successful and definitely engaging the 2019 New York Jaipur Literature Festival 2019, which was held at the popular Asia Society. Every year, the festival brings together a diverse mix of world's greatest writers, thinkers, humanitarians, politicians, business leaders, and entertainers on one stage to champion the freedom to express and engage in thoughtful debate and dialogue. Last year brought together a great showcase of literary richness with internationally acclaimed personalities examining the current age of immigrants and a global movement for empowering narratives that inspire and relate. Let's take a look at a segment of our coverage which also featured renowned actress Manisha Koirala, who spoke to us exclusively on her new book, Healed, recounting her battle with cancer.
For me, I mean, both William and I program in our different ways, William Dalrymple, my co-director. And I think one of the successful things about the festival is we bring very different perspectives and interests, and it comes together as the whole being larger than what both of us really contribute. But I love arguments. I love fights, and I love to get people on the stage to say what they want, but say it in a civil way and in a way that keeps the dignity of the other person, and thrash it out, argue it out, reach a consensus then between what you agree and disagree with. I mean, that has been one of the things about this festival, that people have not been afraid to say what they want to say, because we've always had a free stage, spontaneous, democratic.
Compels you to think about the end of life, your death. And for a long period of time during the treatment, but I was uncertain when I was not sure whether I was going to live or not. And I thought, okay, so my mind was like, so this is it? Yeah. You know, this is all there is? I mean, my end is now?
Yeah.
And so what it did was I started thinking, what did I do with my life? What have I done? So I started doing introspection. I started looking back, and I started thinking, oh my God, I had all these years, and how did I live? Was I really proud of the way I had lived? Was I'm ready to say, okay, I did my best and I'm going.
Right.
But, you know, there was a hollow sense of incompleteness, hollow sense of not doing the right things at the right time, and that engulfed me. A lot of regrets.
Yeah.
Not valuing my health, not valuing my living hours on this planet, So many things engulfed me that time, and I was thinking, okay, let me imagine what different I will do if I get a second chance to life.
And that is all for tonight's episode. Remember to send us your suggestions and get your voices and organizations on our show. Email us on events@itvgold.com or follow us on Facebook at itvgold. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel for free access to many of our popular shows. Thank you for joining us tonight, and tune in this Sunday 11 a.m. Eastern for our topics of the week. This is Vision of Asia. I am Aditi Lamba. Take care and be well.